Well, good afternoon, West Ham fans. It's Thursday, so it's time for the Russy Rumour Roundup. Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. Thursday, the summer over, apparently. That's the heat wave gone. That's the heat wave out of it. But what is heating up is West Ham's transfer business. Let's hope it is. A few stories, as always. What we try and do for anyone new. Again, I have to make an announcement, a public announcement, that warning, I am not saying we are buying all these players. We are merely reporting on what's been reported in the media. So we scour the pages, so you don't have to, my friends. So I have to put that as a disclaimer. Otherwise, people go, "Oh, you said we were going to sign Messi because you spoke about him." No, I didn't. Anyway, let's crack on to it. Plenty to talk about. And obviously, we made our second signing yesterday. Woo! Where's Vondrigham signing on as our third choice goalkeeper? Dizzy heights. Anyway, let's crack on like Donkey Kong. And let's start with Jonathan David, the man on most people's lips at the moment, and hopefully West Ham's lips. I really want him. But that's the trouble, isn't it? You really want to play and you don't get it, and you go, we sure are rubbish. But Holly mentioned it. Was it yesterday? I think as well. According to X, we have been scouting David for a while, and we are currently at the Copa America scouting him. He was quoted as saying on his podcast, Jonathan David is another player whose interest we've been reported on for a long time. Alex Bunbury, do you remember him? He has spoken to the player and put his love for West Ham to him. Oh, Bunners is doing the recruitment job for us. That's a blast in the past, isn't it? Love it, Bunners. And so obviously there he's currently playing for Canada in the Copa America. At the moment, David is one of a number of forward options and players we're currently talking to. We're doing our usual tactic of weighing up the best option out of the targets. It's believed his valuation is key in terms of us moving forward. Apparently, it's thought that West Ham have received reassurances that it could be within our price range. Apparently, it's between sort of anywhere between 17 and 23, 24 million pounds because he's entering the final year of his contract. The Russy Rumour rating, the original Rumour rating, gives Jonathan David 6 out of 10. I've crept it up from 1 out of 10 on Monday. From 5 out of 10, rather. Crept out 1. Now, an alternative to Jonathan David could be our nemesis, Romelu Lukaku. Don't laugh. He's actually, I think I've been very impressed with him in the Euros. I think he's really at the bit between his teeth. But apparently, West Ham are mulling over whether to make a move for Lukaku after he was being pinpointed as an alternative target to Jonathan David. While they are already aware of his situation at Chelsea and what it would take to reach an agreement with the West Londoners, he's had a productive spell on loan for Roma this season just gone. 21 goals. In 47 outings. But apparently it doesn't fit the plans at Chelsea and hasn't for some time, and a permanent deal is being eyed. The fly in the ointment is the wages, obviously. He's currently on, I believe, over £300,000 a week. So that's what's going to work out, is it? In all honesty. And he has been hoping for the Euros to be a platform to put himself in the shop window. Apparently West Ham are keen to clarify whether he would have any interest in joining West Ham ahead of the new season. I mean, he's probably, obviously, he's far too old, but he's entering the twilight of his career. I think if you've got him for a cut down price, we've cut down wages, but I don't think we are going to get him, to be honest. So I'd literally probably give him a 2 out of 10 on the Russy Rumour rating, to be honest. 2 out of 10. Let's move on, like Donkey Kong, and talk about right backs. Obviously, Ben Johnson, yet almost certain to be obviously agreed as an Ipswich Town player, probably today or tomorrow. Medical's been passed, apparently. And we're looking at alternatives right backs. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a name that's crept back up. Apparently, the club are keen to obviously bring in a right back this summer. And obviously, we're a bit short now. And the Times have said that the former Crystal Palace man is on the shortlist of potential signings during the transfer window. It comes amid speculation over the player's future at Old Trafford and various reports suggesting United could sell him. It was reported a while ago that they were actually looking at offloading him and Lindelof as part of a deal with Everton to get Braithwaite over to Old Trafford, but that hasn't failed to materialise at the moment. And apparently we are interested in bringing him back to London. I think, if the price is right, I think it makes sense. X also mentioned it, talking in his sort of roundup about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and as well as people like Carl Walker-Peters as well, and another guy we're going to talk about in a minute. But in terms of me and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 50-50. I've given it a Lamar. Because I would imagine someone like Palace would obviously sniff around for him, and he might want to go back to his, boyhood club, so to speak. He's a homegrown, so he does have that homegrown quota in terms of adding value to him. But, a good right back, a progressive right back. Another player we've been linked with as another fullback alternative is the left back, Luca Pellegrini. And both West Ham and Aston Villa have carried out apparently scouting missions on him, and have made contact with Lazio over his availability. He isn't. He is an Italian international. He isn't with the club. He's with the country for the Euros this year. He's currently on a 2-year loan deal from Juventus, and they have an obligation to buy him in 2025. However, it looks as though both us and Villa have made their first move to cut Pellegrini's stay with Lazio short, although apparently the Serie A side have sent those requests back and want to keep the 25-year-old who cost Juventus £20 million from Roma back in 2019. Obviously, he can play further forward as well. He made 34 appearances for Lazio last season, and it looks like they're happy with him and don't want to sell him, particularly as they could have the 2-year deal, loan deal, then an obligation to buy him at the end of next season. So, for me, why would they want to sell him? Unless they can sell him? It's all a bit murky. Not going to happen. Can't see this one happening at all. Russy Rumour rating, I've given it a 3 out of 10 because in football, stranger things have happened at sea. Another fullback we've been linked with is the Ipswich Town fullback, Harry Clark. Bit of a unit of a man. As an alternative to Ben Johnson. Now, reports have been mentioning his name. However, the reports seem to have failed to pick up the fact that he's recently undergone Achilles surgery, so will probably be unlikely to be on any radar in the current transfer window, in my opinion. And in fact, he's getting Achilles surgery was one of the reasons why Ipswich was so keen to bring Ben Johnson on as a free transfer to cover at right back, because obviously they wanted to improve the right back position, but with Harry having a Achilles surgery, you never know how they return from that surgery. So it was almost like hedging their bets a little bit. So again, this one isn't going to happen. I can't see this one happening at all, unless maybe in a January. So I give it a 2 out of 10. Again, because stranger things have happened at sea. We have bought injured players before. Do you remember Scott Mean? Elsewhere, let's talk about a guy we spoke about a while ago, Albert Goodmanson from Genoa. Apparently, we have got back into the race, but face fierce competition from Spurs and Inter Milan. The Icelandic international will be available for apparently between 25 to 30 million pounds this summer. Inter apparently leading the contest for his signature, but as I said, there is rising interest from England, from Spurs and West Ham, and also Saudi Arabia for his services. It's believed that both Spurs and us are said to have made contact with Goodmanson's current club to receive information on a potential deal. The two clubs also indicating they are willing to make a move for the 27-year-old. Inter says they're doing all they can to advance and get ahead of the pack, but with West Ham and Spurs calling, might change their mind, and whether he's staying in Italy, might decide to try his luck elsewhere. 27, so he's literally on the target market, just at the edge. And for 25-30 million, I don't think you're going to get your money back. But we need players for the future, but we do need players for now, and particularly, forward players as well. We talk about Hammer's headlines. Michail Antonio having interest from from Nottingham Forest, potentially. We'll talk about a bit more detail, returning home to his original club he bought him from. But I give Goodson 6 out of 10. The reason being is we've seemed to... It's been going around for a little bit now, this rumour. And he does... And we know Italy is an area which Steindon does like to look for those... I wouldn't say he's really a pearl. He's a bloody good... But, those players... And lastly, let's talk about Pedro Goncalves, a notable omission from the Euro 2024 Portuguese squad. Obviously, they lost to Georgia 2-0 yesterday. He's been in our crosshairs for some time. And he was very much, in my eyes, was the contingent for the sale of Lucas Paqueta to Manchester United, Manchester City, Man City, Russ, Manchester City. Sounds so weird. And we were heavily interested in him. I think that interest has paused with what's happening and the protracted issues with the FA betting charges. And they put a dent in the spending power, definitely, I think. Now, it looks like Aston Villa are going to try and beat us to him. He's last season Sporting 18 goals, 17 assists in 49 appearances. That's better than 1 in 2, or just about 1 in 2. And obviously they won La Liga Portugal last year. They have put a hefty price tag of £67 million on his head, which should probably take our budget by all accounts. So I can't see this one happening, sadly. As much as I think he's a fantastic player, I think the whole Paqueta thing has really put a spanner in the works in terms of moving forward from that position. Pedro would have come in, no shadow of a doubt, would have come in, probably operated more on the left-hand side, with Kudus maybe more centrally in the 10 role. Bowen on the right-hand side, with obviously Luis Guilherme to come on and just learn the ropes, and then maybe next year, maybe Kudus leave, and then, so there was like a circle of life, so to speak. Anyway, I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Again, stranger things have happened at sea. Now, the question everyone wants to ask is, what does that make the list? And I've deduped it, thank you very much. There was only one Ivor Toney, not 2 Ivor Toneys now. We are now at 141 players, and we've signed 2 players in 141 now. Great stuff. And I'm sure, actually, we may well be announcing a couple more tomorrow, those being the academy players like David Chikweda, and I can't remember the other gent's name. But, so we'll probably announce. And obviously Louis Brown as well. Lewis Brown, he's going to be signing Kenny Brown's somebody under the academy tomorrow, I imagine, as well. So, again, we'll bring that information to you once it's all been confirmed. And that's it, my friends. Thank you very, very much for your time, as per usual. Hammers Headlines, we'll talk a little bit maybe more about another player we'll be linked with, and also a couple of outs as well, potentially. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on, you bloody, bloody, bloody irons. Much love.